because the houses were cheap, taxes were low, and I was going to Fairleigh Dickinson. Biological science. In 1956. Oh, I already had my registry in medical technology. I went to Payne Hall School in New York on Fifth Avenue. So I had to get a bachelor's degree, so I went to Fairleigh. It took me 6 years at night. I felt I had to do something, and I wanted to be helpful, and that's about it. My wife and I both were in there for almost 30 years. I was chairman for 30 years. My wife was chairman for 30 years. The Rutherford Community Blood Bank came to us, and we got on the board, and we worked. It's a very good service to the community. Anybody in the community can get all the blood they need and not pay for it. We're celebrating our 62nd year, I think, this year. I founded the Unico chapter in 1984. It's a group of Italian men and women. You have to be Italian to join, or be the wife or husband of an Italian. It's the largest Italian organization in the United States. And all they do is charity work. I've been on the Board of Health for more than 30 years. I was liaison to the board when I was on the council, and I just served, but he didn't reappoint me this year. What I did? Well, I set up the whole program. I followed I forget his name, but I was there for 40 years. I have some pictures downstairs of some of the old displays we made in the public service building. But it was, now I think the chief of police takes over. But we were involved in all the disaster drills and things like that. "28 years. 20 years as a councilman and 8 years as a mayor. 1970. Bob Wesp. I was police director, police liaison for 10, 15 years. But then I liked the Board of Health also, being a health specialist. 1970. How I ran for council, I was mowing my lawn, and Will Reenstra and Bob West came along and asked me to run. Well, one of the best parts of the job was doing weddings. I did close to 400 weddings in 8 years. And I see some of the results of the weddings. I see the kids graduating from college from couples I married. I married Martha Stewart's sister at the Stony Hill Inn. That's right. And now we got Joe DeSalvo. We had a lot of Italian-American councilmen, Al Scaramelli. Yeah, for 34 years. And then when I retired, I went into the health and safety teaching of asbestos workers for 12 years. And I taught medical technology at the Eastern School for Physicians' Aides in New York City for about 10 years. I taught a night class. Well, I have 5 children and 11 grandchildren. My son Andrew works for H&R Block. He lives in Wayne. His one daughter graduated from Johnson and Wales last year. His son is going to University of Southern Connecticut this next week. Pam lives in Barnegat. She just moved from Syracuse area. She lived in Manlius and taught second grade up there for 22 years. Her husband had a heart attack shoveling 90 inches of snow. Lisa lives in Hoboken. She's my youngest. She's vice president of Altor Corporation. She has 1 child. Cynthia teaches at the middle school. She teaches special ed at the middle school. She was with the high school, but they transferred her to the middle school. Used to be a lot of Italians here. Now we got Koreans on this side. We got Muslims across the street. The ethnic character of the town has changed a lot. It hasn't changed much as I can see. They're good neighbors. Doing weddings. I did close to 400 weddings in 8 years. Well, the governor started issuing the Distinguished Service Medal, and you got a citation on the wall there. And I applied for it, and I got it. I was on a small ship, a PC, which had a crew of 26, 4 officers, and 26 and 20 men, 22 men, and the steward's mate. And I realize now how segregated the Navy was. The steward's mate was black. They didn't even give him, he was a 3rd class seaman, which is the lowest pay. They didn't even give him a Navy uniform. He had brown khakis, no insignia on as the Navy. And he couldn't shower with us, couldn't eat with us. He was completely segregated at board. But he became a good friend. And I was called a nigger lover because I was friendly with him by the rest of the crew. No, I got along good with him. I was the only one that talked to him on the ship. But I served St. Mary's 47 years as a lector and Eucharistic minister. My wife was in the choir for 57 years, and I served as a Eucharistic minister at St. Mary's Hospital every Sunday for 28 years.